Welcome back to ActionTracks. Before we get into Freestyle Friday night, let's take a look at some of the highlights from Saturday night competition in Highland Heights. There you see Chalkboard Chuck, Jeff Hatton coming out, launching into another great wheelie and donut combination. We saw Radzierez come out in the Star Marshal. A good leap, getting acquainted with the new equipment underneath him. Whipping it into a donut. Oh! But that was not a good pop, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to see how that affects him throughout the rest of the night. Rick Long walking it just a little bit across the cars. But you'll remember on Friday night he had some issues getting it to whip into a donut, and looks like he's still having issues trying to get that truck to break loose. The front tires seem to have a habit of coming off the ground on that inside front, and that's just really killing him on the donut competition. That's going to pretty much prevent him from winning this competition. Bobby Holman, last night's winner. Another good launch. We'll see what the donut has. Oh, and another classic Bobby Holman donut. Fixing it between the two sets of cars. I'm going to say it's going to come down to Bobby Holman, and oh, never mind. There's Bobby Holman declared the winner right there in the stabilizer. Moving into racing, the finals brought out Snakebite versus Stabilizer, just like we saw on Friday night. We'll see if Rick Long can drill him once again. Hot the line. Oh, and the Snake just flew to the finish line. No contest there. Another fun event this weekend at the Family Events Monster National Show. Radzierez, the driver of the Star Marshal monster truck, was celebrating his birthday this weekend. He was trying to tell everybody that he was celebrating his 28th birthday. I don't think most of us were believing it, but we got him a cake nonetheless, and he got to blow out the candles in front of the crowd. A fun little moment here with all of the Monster Nationals crew. That leads us into Freestyle for Saturday night. Jeff Hatton was having issues with the Chalkboard Chuck most of the evening. If you look closely, you'll notice the rear steering is cocked over and it's not coming back to center like it normally should. And so he's trying to do what he can with a busted truck. The team worked and worked on the truck, but it just wasn't coming together. You notice Star Marshal not coming out. Apparently that engine damage was terminal for the evening. We've gotten word that the Star Marshal bent 6 bush rods in that brand new 540 cubic inch engine, and so that put him out for the night. But Rick Long coming out, and you see it right there, putting on a show. Some slap wheelies, clearing the cars, even that awesome power wheelie on concrete. I've never seen a power wheelie performed on concrete, and Rick Long showing that huge Bigfoot power. Bobby Holman coming out last on Saturday night, putting on a show for the crowd, trying to keep up with everybody else that's come out tonight, clearing the cars. Great momentum all through the run. The cars start to get pretty beat down at the end of the freestyle at the end of the night, and Bobby Holman, a great show. And we're going to move back into Friday night, our final event for the evening, freestyle of our primary event for this episode of ActionTracks, and Chalkboard Chuck, Jeff Hatton is coming out first. We saw some great moves out of Jeff in the wheelie and donut competition. Not so hot in the racing competition. We'll see if he can carry any of that wheelie and donut momentum into the freestyle competition. Here we'll see where Jeff's being a newcomer really affects performance. He's developing, but you see he's got to back up, line up with the cars, where a seasoned vet really knows where the truck's going to be pointed, and I think that'll hurt him just a little bit, but he'll come into his own, he'll get that together. It'll just take a little bit of time in the seat. Hatton just being careful, making sure he doesn't hurt any of the equipment, getting acquainted with the truck, doesn't want to roll it over in one of his first times out. There are some great donuts to round out the freestyle. That's going to be all for Chalkboard. Here comes Radzierez in the Star Marshal. This is Dave's first freestyle in the alcohol-ejected truck. Now, Dave's been behind the wheel, obviously, tonight, but this will be his first true opportunity to really get a sense of how one of these alcohol-ejected trucks really operates. Dave has a little bit more experience after driving the Air Dog, but this is his first indoor show because of the diesel truck not being able to run inside because of the emissions issues and all the smoke that the truck puts off being a diesel. The fans really adhering to the truck here in the pit party. Really a fan favorite. One of the longest lines at the pit party. There's been a lot of talk about the truck throughout this first quarter, and I think the fans are speaking at the show and saying they really love the truck that's being touted as the Galaxy Defender from far away, the good guy with a bad attitude. They've got smoke machines and things like that to really add to the atmosphere around the truck, and everyone seems to really get a kick out of it. Radzierez cranking into some awesome donuts, really spinning that truck and laying down some thick black rubber. Nice way to end the run. Good job, Radzierez. We'll move on to Rick Long in Snake Fight and see what the Snake has to provide in freestyle. As we mentioned in our Saturday night freestyle highlights, the cars tend to start to get a little mushed down when you've only got two sets of cars and all the trucks are hitting the same direction. The cars get a little mushed down, and so the drivers towards the end of freestyle really have to work a lot harder to really put on a good show. Saw some nice air there out of Long. It's always great to see the Snake Fight truck out. Still one of my favorite trucks that the Bigfoot family has run. I think each redesign starts to look a little bit better. I've always been real partial to the green one, but I think they've all looked pretty good and have just a classic feel to them. One of the first 3D monster truck concepts out there. Debuted back in 1991, I believe. Rick Long trying for that power wheelie we saw quite successfully performed in the Saturday highlights. Not able to get it going here on Friday night. Long, usually the pilot of Bigfoot 15. This weekend, as we've mentioned, donning the Snake Fight body. The chassis running a 572 Ford. Rick is also the defending Monster Nationals racing champion and is leading the points currently in 2011. Check out MonsterNationals.com for all the point standing. That's going to be all for Long. Bobby Holman coming out last, closing out the show. A little bit of pressure there, but that's nothing for someone with the experience that Bobby has. Bobby's been at it for a long time. Started way back in 1982, had his Holman's Beast. If any of you remember that, the copper or gold colored truck sat probably 40 feet off the ground. I know I'm exaggerating here, but the truck was just huge. And this was back in the day when it was all about how big is your truck and how many KC lights can you get on it. This truck, a truck of a whole different breed. Bobby's had 12 different Beast chassis over his career. This one was built in 2009, running a 2005 Chevy Silverado body, running a 540 cubic inch Fowler motor. His crew member, his son, Cody Holman. I think you can look for him in the scene sometime in the near future. Bobby coming out here carrying some good momentum in the small confines of the Bank of Kentucky Center, making his hits nicely on the beat-down metal here in the Bank of Kentucky Center. this chassis actually a Holman built chassis from Holman Family Racing. So a little bit different than some of the more common chassis you see out there, but there are some similarities. Bobby really likes this chassis. The truck is the team member to Star Marshall and Chalkboard Chuck. Star Marshall being a brand new Patrick chassis. They've got another Patrick chassis in the works for what will be Chalkboard Chuck and Iron Man. A truck we've seen out of the Holman camp previously will step onto the Chalkboard chassis. But Bobby really just adores this new chassis on his stabilizer truck so much that he's decided not to go with the brand new high-tech, high-class pieces that the other truck will get, and just to stick with this Holman Family Racing chassis that he just adores. Great donut to round out the freestyle. Gets it stopped right in front of the fans. That's going to wrap up Monster Nationals action from Highland Heights. That's all from the Bank of Kentucky Center in Highland Heights, Kentucky. We saw the Lucas Oil Stabilizer and Snakebite take big victories. We also saw the debut of Star Marshall and Chalkboard Chuck on TMB TV. Two new drivers getting acquainted with their trucks. Dave Radzierez and Star Marshall having never been in an alcohol-injected truck before, feeling his way out on that. And the same for Jeff Hatton, a longtime crew member, stepping into the driver's seat of Chalkboard Chuck. We'll look to see how they develop throughout the rest of the season. But until that time, until next time on Action Tracks, we'll see you then.
People back in the sky.